Four- 14 in a row for the Edmonton Oilers to get the job done against the Columbus Blue Jackets in a sloppy one down at Rogers Place. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Oil Stream post-game show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola with you. Zach to come running things under the watchful eye of Matthew Awanek back at EST HQ and our game analyst, Matt Kassian, will be joining us a little bit later on in the program. My goodness, this team continues to find ways to win games, and that's the bottom line as they now push it to 14 in a row. As always, you can hit us up in the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're listening to our audio stream or on TuneIn on your ride home from the arena, you can text us 780-218-9999 as the Oil get the job done to kick off this 3-game homestand. Let's get into the scoring summary from tonight's action, as well as the game stats. Warren Foegele got the party started, his 10th of the year on the power play. It wasn't pretty, but it went in. Evander Kane picking up the assist alongside Darnell Nurse. Kane 14 assists, Nurse 11 on Foegele's 10th goal, coming at 7:30 of the first period. But Voronkov would have the answer for the Columbus Blue Jackets to tie things up. That one off a sloppy play in the Oilers' defensive zone. Dmitry Voronkov's got 10 from Kent Johnson. 1-1 at that point, 15:25 of the first period. To the third period after nobody scored in another sloppy second period. Everybody was saying, hey, win one period and you've got yourself a 14-game winning streak. And Evander Kane scores his 15th. A little bit of a scrambly play. He finds the puck in his feet and bangs it home for 15. Warren Foegele and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the assists there. Nugent-Hopkins, 30 assists. Foegele, 16 assists. The goal coming at 4:53. Then 55 seconds later, it would be Zach Hyman getting pushed into Elvis Merzlikins by Eric Goodbranson. Connor McDavid pops it in, his 17th of the year. He also had one disallowed earlier in the game on an offside. Draisaitl's 29th assist of the season. CC 13th assist of the season. Give the Oilers a 3-1 lead. And then to put this one on ice, Dylan Holloway, second goal of the year from Connor Brown, 4th assist. Hey, is he heating up? No, I'm kidding. He's not. Let's not kid ourselves. And Brett Kulak, the other assist, 4-1 Edmonton at 15:36. That is your final score. Shots on goal, 28-24 in favor of the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Oilers better on the faceoff dot, 51 to 49%. Edmonton's power play 1 for 2 tonight. The PK 4 for 4. That's good. Hits 25-24 in favor of the Jackets. Block shots 16 apiece, and then officially 26 giveaways for the Oilers to just 13 for Columbus. I would say they nailed that. And then takeaways 13-9, 13 for Columbus, 9 for Edmonton. 780-218-9999 is the number to text us. And you can hit us up in the nasty chat. We're going to go to Mike in Thunder Bay. He says, Tommy, I had a long rant written up regarding my hatred of the offside coach's challenge and how it totally goes against the spirit of the game, but I won't. The Oilers pulled out a massive win again. Stuart Skinner is an absolute beast. This team has no quit. Why sit here and criticize anything? 14 in a row. Did anyone think we could ever see this? Play La Bamba. Good night, Oil Country. Mike in Thunder Bay, staying up late like he usually does to watch the Oilers and chime in on the post-game show. Coach Mike says 14. Ugly first and second, but an incredible third. Bring on Chicago. Plus, the Flames lose late to keep a 4-game parlay alive. That one from Coach Mike. So the Mike's coming in hot off the top. Mike in Thunder Bay, Coach Mike as well. This one says, hey, Billy, I love the Oilers. My name is Luke. All right, Luke, thank you. Another one from KL says 14. It was 4-1, but Skinner stole the game. A better team would have made that a blowout. The giveaways were happening every shift. I give Knobloch credit, switching all 4 lines, producing 3 goals from the top 9. Wasn't pretty, but we'll take it. Signed, KL. All right, I see Cass is ready to rock. Let's bring the big man in here as the Oilers get the 4-1 victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Cass, we were going into the inbox off the hop and people nailing it. I mean, those 2 periods to start the game were just a sloppy mess. Loose. But they're winners tonight.
Yeah, they were. A little bit, I don't want to necessarily say totally dicey, but a little bit dicey through the first couple periods. Just a ton of slop. I mean, it was a sloppy game. And Stuart Skinner again, and we talked about him a little bit before, didn't show fatigue today. Another really solid game. Save on Goudreau, maybe a game-saving save in a lot of ways. I think that one, if I was going to say, not a turning point in the game, but a definitive moment in the game that allowed the Oilers to win. Because if Columbus would have went up, I don't know what would have happened. I really don't, because they were playing so sloppy. But you know what? You have rough 2 periods, as it were, and in the third, you just continue to find a way, and you find some garbage around the net. Loved that Evander Kane scored, that he was involved and around the net. A couple points for him too.
Yep.
Maybe offensively, his best production, maybe not his best game, judging the other 2 periods, but his best production was great to see him around the net a little bit. And Connor Brown almost scored. So how can we not celebrate? He almost scored. Okay. I wonder how he feels now, too, knowing that Dylan Holloway just came back and he's already got one. I mean, he's probably happy with the win and maybe with an assist, but yeah. Maybe chuckle a little bit.
I believe the quote that Connor Brown gave Daniel Nugent-Bowman early in the season was he felt like Ricky Bobby in Talladega Nights, where he's thinking he's going 200 miles per hour, strictly left turns, when really he's just taking it nice and slow, like granny style. Now, listen, that was a few months ago, but I'd like to see him get off the Schneidcast, but it seems like it's all in his head now, and maybe he has one go off his button in at some point.
Maybe it'd be nice if he could. But Tommy, let's not get wrapped up in that and the negatives. Let's talk about this 14 game win streak. So maybe here's a question for you: is if we're looking at this group and we're looking at that third period,
yes,
in particular, who to you stood out the most in that period? Like who is the guy? And I know we'll get to the player of the game and in a little bit, but for you, Tommy, who is the driver of that third period for the Oilers?
Listen, in the third period, I noticed Warren Foegele a lot. Did I get the answer right, teacher?
Yeah, I think he was around it. I did.
Okay.
There's no. This isn't
there a right answer?
This is an interpretive question. I mean, it's an opinion question, so it's not. I don't think there was a right or wrong answer. It was more just kind of, what did you think? Yeah, I mean, he certainly was a guy. How about that? It's primarily the bottom 6, sort of bottom 6 again, right, that gets the job done. That's a nice little touch for this. Again, what I really liked about it, more than picking just one individual player, is that they managed to do it in a way where it was like, and I thought Connor had some time today. Like there were instances where he had some jump. No, he gets the goal called back. We could harp on the spirit of the rule all we want.
Yes.
Get back to that discussion. Don't need to go there right now. But I love that it was your bottom 6 again with the puck around the net, causing some chaos that wins you a hockey game. In a game where if you played that way against Nashville, if you played that way against Calgary, if you played that way against any number of teams, you would have been lit up for like 4 or 5 goals. Thank you, Stuart Skinner, for not letting that be the case. A big third by the bottom 6.
Yeah. Have a night, Stuart Skinner, as well. I did notice there was a bit of a shuffle with the lines, right? We saw, was it Nugent Hopkins with Foegele and Kane for a bit? We saw McDavid with Draisaitl and Hyman for a bit. And who was it? It was Ryan McLeod with Janmark and Gagne? Am I remembering that correctly?
It was a little all over the place.
What do you think of Chris Knobloch doing that in the third period. Like, I don't think it was desperation, Cass, but
No, but they didn't have a lot of jam through the first couple, and so you're giving it a little bit of a different look. Really, now not like not a crazy different look, but a little bit of a different look. And it's, really, we haven't seen it. And maybe correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy, but is this really like the first time in the third period in a long time we've seen Knobloch go to I don't want to call it a full on blender, but a little bit to the blender?
yeah, like I feel like he sprinkled it in every now and then, but this one I noticed it right away. At first, kind of watching, I was like, huh, McDavid Draisaitl out there together. Is that coming off of PK? And it wasn't. And then they were out there again. And I was like, all right, yeah. So that he did get the blender out there. And maybe he just realized his group needed a jolt because it wasn't happening in those first two periods, Cass.
No, it wasn't. And I think that's what it is. And really we've we saw at the start of the year. We saw Jay Woodcroft pretty much immediately hit the nuclear option and just like go full panic, what felt like full panic.
Yeah.
But this to me, and maybe it's just that they've won so many games in a row, it didn't feel like it was like a full panic, like I'm just going to change everything just for the sake and we got to do something and we got to do something. It was more like, well, no, you know what? It's not quite working today. Let's try a little bit of a different look. Like it was
Yeah.
like a calm version of the blender versus a panic version of the blender. At least observedly, that's what it looked like to me.
It works in the end. 4-1, the Oilers victorious over the Columbus Blue Jackets. 14 wins in a row for the Edmonton Oilers, as this streak can be stretched to 15 on Thursday against the Chicago Blackhawks team that's coming in with back-to-back games and ripe for the picking. Although today we watched the Oilers almost through two periods kind of squander this one. Columbus had beaten Edmonton in 3 straight, but yeah, the Oilers get the job done ultimately with a strong third period. Dell saying Gazzy's got color back in his face. Looks like he's had dinner. Yes, Dell, thank you for looking out for my well-being. I'm fine. It's funny the things you pick up in the nasty chat. Let's go over to the inbox and see what's going on over there. This text comes in, says Perry and Kane on the line. Sounds like a playoff line. That's from Dan. Cass, do you want to chime in on that?
Oh, say that one again. I was just reading in a different nasty chat.
Yeah, I was getting distracted by the nasty chat earlier too. This one from Dan says, Perry and Kane on a line sounds like a playoff line.
Yeah, I'd almost want them separate though. Like
Okay.
just to add a little bit more. And someone, then I don't know who it was. It was earlier in the nasty chat. I'm not going to try to scroll up there because then I'll get distracted by all you nasties again. But someone suggested, what about McLeod, Perry, and well, whoever else you throw really on the left, maybe like a Fogel on a line. I think that's
Not
what
bad.
the potential combination was. Like some speed and some agitation there. Or I don't know, actually, no, sorry, it wasn't Fogel. It was Holloway, McLeod, and Perry on a line. That was the potential. I mean, I kind of think maybe Fogel might be a better fit in there, but regardless, there's some interesting combinations that you could throw. And I do love, like with Perry, and we saw in the bottom 6 tonight, that gritty being around the net a little bit, causing some chaos and, getting cross-checked into the goalie, and puck ends up going in, and just being there and creating havoc. And Perry is just another guy that does that extremely well. We have seen that firsthand on the receiving end of that here in Edmonton. So he's just going to, I think, continue to make that better. And yeah, some interesting or unique line combinations that when Knobloch needs to go to the blender, if they haven't been great for a couple periods and they need a little bit of juice, certainly some options that he could, throw out there.
This one, interesting stat, comes in from Oily Sink, who sends in a screen grab. Sam Gagne, he says, Papa Oiler. Gagne, not really too hot on that name when I talked to him about it, but the graphic that Oily Sink sent in says, only player in NHL history to be a part of multiple 14-game winning streaks.
Yep.
Gagne with the Jackets in 16, 17 when they ended up running off 16 in a row. And now he's got 14 here. Bad giveaway on that goal that the Jackets got there. Him and Vinny Desharnais got crossed up. Cass, I'm a little surprised that he didn't get benched, because we've seen Sam Gagne get stapled to the bench by Chris Knobloch at times, but good on him for putting Gagne back out there and letting him.
Yeah, I kind of
pound
feel
for
like the staple to the bench has more been situational though, hasn't it? Not necessarily
There was
based on
one
Gagne's
game where he
play.
had a bad giveaway.
Yeah, maybe the one. I can't.
But
I don't remember that.
yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So maybe maybe a little bit surprising, but yeah, it wasn't a great. It's not like he played an absolute ton tonight, but
no,
yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it happened so fast. I mean, that turned quick. So not a great look for both of those guys, and you kind of leave Stuart Skinner out to dry a little bit on that one again
totally.
with that play, which reminds me that this is another game, Tommy, where the only goal that went in was one that Stuart Skinner had no chance on. Any puck
Good
that
point.
he had a chance on, he saved tonight, which is just absolutely spectacular.
The Oilers 4-1 winners over the Columbus Blue Jackets. By the way, Sam Gagner, 7:44 time on ice, -1, 2 penalty minutes. Yeah, so Papa Oiler, maybe not the best night on the stat sheet, and we'll see if he bounces back. The guy is a competitor. Nobody can take that away from him. Tom Gazzola, Matt Kassian with you. Zach to come running things back at ESTHQ under the watchful eye of Matthew Awanek. Text us 780-218-9999 and then get at us in the nasty chat. Again, nasty chat, do your thing. I'm going to go back to the text line. This one from Ryan from Sask says, McLeod with Brown and Holloway, Ryan with Gagner and Janmark. So all kinds of line combinations coming in, Cass. And I was going to say that the underlying theme now is just super flexibility, right? With all these lines.
Yep. No, absolutely. There's a lot of different looks and a lot of different looks that sound appetizing, like where it's just like, yeah, that could really work. Yeah, that could really work. Yeah, that would be an interesting line. Yeah, that could be a fun line, which is great. And that, Tommy, is what you want to see from a depth standpoint, which is why, as we talked about earlier on the pregame show, which is why, the Corey Perry, I think, is a great addition. He's going to be a great addition. And
right.
Because it just, again, for basically free, because you didn't have to trade anybody to get him. You didn't lose anybody on waivers to get him. You added a guy that just brings a little bit more depth and some solid depth to your lineup. So yeah, it's I think just going to continue to make this team better. But here's a question for you, Tommy.
Sure.
Here's a question for you, because they won again tonight. There was conversations when asked about Corey Perry about potentially getting him into the lineup against Nashville. Do you think that happens, or do they wait till after the break if they continue to win hockey games?
I honestly, Cass, I'm surprised he isn't playing as early as, like, listen, I know the Chicago Blackhawks being in town on Thursday is probably a bit of a factor, but I'm surprised they're not throwing him in there relatively sooner. So if they're pegging Nashville as the date that he goes in, I think that you can easily slide a Brown or probably a Gagner out of the lineup and get Corey Perry in there, and it's just a straight up upgrade.
Yep.
Nothing against those two, but I mean, Brown probably has the upper hand being on the PK, and a PK that's been really good of late. That's crawled into the top 10 after having a horrendous start cast. So I like seeing Sam Gagner out there.
He's probably the guy, though.
Yeah, it's a blast.
He's probably the easier choice. Yep.
Yeah, so I think that they do get him in on Saturday. If that wasn't the Chicago Blackhawks on Thursday, I would even think that maybe they play him Thursday night. But it is the Hawks, and that would be an absolute circus. So I think they want to avoid that. Oh, I know, but funny. Like,
oh man, that would be great. Yeah. I kind of hope they do. I know it won't be Thursday for sure. They won't do that, because you said they don't. There's no point in creating a circus about that and having that be a storyline. And this, but it would be a fun one for us for sure.
Oh yeah, and the Chicago media would be all over that one. I'm sure they're going to request him when they come to town to talk to Corey Perry, and I don't know if that request will be fulfilled. Probably better if it is, but we'll see what happens. That's a day and a half from now. All right, let's go to the Liquid Beaver, who says, I don't care what Gager said on 2 guys and a goalie, but you start Pickard against Chicago. Now, fill us in, Cass, for those of us that may have missed the back and forth or the debate, who starts when. I don't mind Skinner playing tonight. I thought it would be Pickard. I'm assuming it's going to be Pickard on Thursday. This text came in from Liquid Beaver saying, I don't care what Gager said on 2 guys, but you start Pickard against Chicago. What would you say to Liquid Beaver?
Yeah, I agree with you, Liquid Beaver. I know, so, friend of the show, Joaquin Gage, very strongly believe that you run Skinner against Chicago. You run him against Nashville. You play him out because he's going to have a long break after. Now, I just kind of go from an overall season management and game management. I get that he's going to have a break. He looked fantastic again today. He didn't look fatigued. He looked really, really good. But it's like you need to get Pickard in, because how are you going to, not give Pickard a game in like a month almost with the break if you run Skinner through? So I do think Pickard should play on Thursday against the Blackhawks. And yeah, let's see Skinner again against Nashville. I get concerned from an overall load management standpoint for Skinner for the entirety of the season. I mean, you don't want him playing 65 games, and you have to find ways to get Pickard in. Chicago is a great opportunity. Now, you made the decision tonight, and it looks like the right one based on how Stuart Skinner played, to get him out there, keep the streak going. He played extremely well, but yeah, I disagree with our friend Joaquin that wants to run Skinner the next 2 and think that Pickard should play against the Chicago Blackhawks.
Cass, I'm with you 100%. All right, let's go to Zach to come. Zach to come, are we ready to go inside the Oilers locker room?
We definitely are there, good sir.
All right, who do you want to go to first?
Let us go to the winner Skinner out in the Oilers locker room.
Nice, I like it.
Really kept your team in. Can you talk about the mentality maybe when you know the guys don't have it, and is there like a challenge for yourself to keep your team in it?
Yeah, I think that's why us goalies love to play the game. I think moments like that where you're able to come up with a couple big saves and keep your team in it. Big part of our job is just being able to give our team a chance to win. I think I did that for a couple periods, and then in the third period we took it home. So it's really good pushback by our group.
What happens in the third period with you? You haven't lost the third period in this entire streak. The goals falling against are a bit ridiculous. What happens when gear gets shifted with this period?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of been a lot of work going into the third period, especially when we're in these tight games. We know what's on the line for us. Every point's massive, and we know that. And going into the third periods, we've been either down 1 or up 1. So, just critical periods, and that's when we love to come out and shine.
Franchise record for you, 11 straight wins for a goaltender. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I was feeling a lot of emotion, especially when I went out on the ice for the first star there, just because it's pretty cool being able to break a record from one of the best goalies to ever live. So obviously a guy that I look up to, a guy that I've talked to, and he's just one of the best. So I'm very, very fortunate to be able to break it.
You weren't born when he was playing. What do you know about him? What's your relationship in any way? Your dad watch him?
Yeah, I mean, I think our whole family's probably my whole family's probably watched him. I've watched every single YouTube video possible on him, from his interviews to his incredible saves. Obviously, it's really cool what he did for this organization. I mean, he's one of the best to ever play the game again, Hall of Famer, as he should be. So it's a very cool feeling.
What's it like for a modern goaltender to watch the way that Grant played back in the day? The two styles, so it's such a contrast, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's just it is pretty wild to see how they played. I mean, they're like, what I think about is how heavy their gear would have been, and getting shots in the collarbone. They didn't have like too much protection. The mask that they wore, it takes a lot of guts to do what they did, especially at that time. But especially for Grant, watching all those videos that I've been able to watch, knowing him personally, he's just such a competitor. And I mean, you saw that in when they won the cup, when he was always playing. So pretty cool.
We see you guys, you and Vinny, do the high five at the end of every game. What's the origin story to that?
Started back in Wichita when we played in the ECHL. And yeah, it's just kind of a moment where him and I are very tight, obviously, because we were able to kind of move our way up to, from the coast to the American League to the NHL. So just something that we love to do. Obviously, we're incredible friends, and we love to celebrate the wins when we can.
Stu, you've been asked a lot about your streak here, but it isn't just a streak. You've been on a couple months of really solid play from you. What's it been like for you the last couple months?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, there's every single game's so different, right? There's games where it's been tight, games where we kind of take over, games where other teams take over. So it's just been a lot of resilience from our group. Going off the streak, going off my play, going off everybody's play. It's been pretty amazing to watch this group work to where we are today. At the same time, we have a lot of work to do. We're kind of in the middle part, and there's a lot of work to be done. So it's up to us to keep moving forward here.
There were a lot of struggles for everyone early on. I know you talked about your play and sometimes feeling okay about it, sometimes not. Did you really feel like there was a turning point, or can you pinpoint a turning point for you this year where things took off for you?
Couldn't really pinpoint it. I think it's just again, I've said it a few times, but just the resiliency from all of us. It starts with everybody in this dressing room. When starts like that happen, it's up to the guys how we're going to react to it, and being able to show kind of what we're doing, being able to win close games, being able to fight, battle, grind every single night. It's fun to be a part of.
Does this workload suit? I mean, it seems to suit you, but do you like?
I love it. Yeah, I'd play every game if I could.
This is not an easy place to be a struggling goaltender. So were there times when you were alone thinking, man, this ain't going good?
There's. You never want to do bad no matter where you are. Obviously being from a hometown kid, it's something that I've dreamed of. So, like I said last time, it's a very fortunate position to struggle in a great city like this, and to be able to struggle playing in the NHL. So it's there's ups, there's downs. That's part of life. It's going to happen until my last day. So it's up to me to how I respond to it, and just keep on working, keep on moving forward.
You're only a second-year NHL goalie, and your level of your play the last couple of months has been very, very high. How good can it get here? How good can you be?
I'm hoping a lot better. I think for me, it's a lot about just growing. Obviously we all love the game. Our jobs is to keep on getting better every single day. I'm hoping that I have a lot of years left, and there's a lot of growth for me to have. I learned a very valuable lesson after that first goal, and just going to keep on doing that. So sky's the limit, as we like to say, but I got to keep on keep on working on my craft.
Wholesome, positive, thankful. A lot of good stuff there from Stuart Skinner, and he now has sole possession of the Oilers franchise consecutive wins record with 11 there. Cass, what stood out to you from what Stuart Skinner had to say in regard to all of this?
Well, I just want to point back to that Tampa game where he put it on his own shoulders that he lost. And in a game like today, he still comes across in that interview as being just a very genuine and not prideful person with the job that he's doing, and in breaking a record that was set by one of the best goalies to ever play in the game. So pretty, it's just fun. I was just smiling. I don't know about you, Tom. Actually, I kind of saw you. I was just smiling the whole time, where I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, you were.
I was smiling the whole time. I was just happy for him. It's cool to see records broken and broken by people that you're like, yeah, I'm happy that this person did it. He obviously is at a point right now where he's playing some great hockey, but he wants to continue to improve. And that's the other thing is like, well, yeah, I've been playing really well, but I want to keep getting better and continue to improve, which is great. A great attitude for the kid, because he still is a kid to have. And someone comes in, Rod Z, into the nasty chat that says future Conn Smythe winner this year. Don't know about that, but hey, he's moving in the right direction. Been shooting up the standings in terms of save percentage and goals against. So you never know. Or actually, Conn Smythe. Sorry, I was thinking Vezina.
Vezina.
Conn Smythe potential. Yeah, well, that too. Conn Smythe potential. Vezina, maybe that too. Who knows?
Yeah, Skinner pushes his record to 22-9-1 and has won 11 straight starts. Couple text messages before we go back inside the Oilers locker room. This text comes in and says, Ekholm was a man out there. Full-grown adult. Yes, he does that. Paige K says, the goals seem to be kind of garbage-style goals. Do you think that's coincidence or a change of style of play under Knobloch, Cass?
Well, I think it's the bottom six just kind of finding their identity, and whether that was Knobloch, certainly he has something to do with it, or just the team being able to transition out of being horrible and into being the team that we thought they could be heading into the start of the season. The bottom six has found their identity, and they've started to find ways to score and to contribute and to be a part of it, and that is so huge for this team. Now, they've had stretches, even when they've been playing well, where it's like they went quiet for a little bit, and we've had conversations about certain players, Connor Brown being probably the one that we've talked about most frequently because he still hasn't scored, about how it's, the bottom six not producing. It's not a problem until it's a problem, right? If the top guys are chugging along and putting the puck in the net, well, that takes the pressure off them. But the flip is also true, where it's like, okay, well, if your top guys aren't having a night, or if they're not producing, and maybe the power play isn't clicking like it normally does, well, to have your bottom six be able to score gritty, greasy goals around the net, not trying to be too pretty, not trying to be Connor McDavid, not trying to be Leon Draisaitl, but just saying, hey, we're just going to get to the puck to the net. We're going to get bodies to the net. We're going to use some of our speed, and we're going to find ways to score. I mean, that just bodes well for the team, and it bodes well for wins. And it is an absolute huge part of this win streak and why they have it.
Carmen K. Gill 97 in the nasty chat says Skinner and Vinny are workers, came up from the ECHL to become NHL regulars, won a starting goaltender. Incredible. And then Jason says Skinner's record and streak is more impressive this year, yet last year was the all-star year. Yeah, he was a fill-in, I think, for Logan Thompson last year. Incredible, the goalie rotation, even in Vegas. Now it's Thompson and Hill with a dabbling and sprinkling of Yuri Patera. And Cass, I think I saw a text in the nasty chat earlier that asked you if Strutty knitted you that cardigan, which I
yes.
appreciate.
It was a Christmas gift.
Yes. Millwoods Matt says great game by Skinner to pass Grant Fuhr. And Morgan says Connor stepped up when he needed to, even though his goal was disallowed. It was the TSN turning point. Good game. Stay handsome from Morgan. Thank you. That was towards you, Cass, for sure. That's someone saying
both of us.
Yeah, I know. I'm teasing. This one says can't believe they paid Connor Brown $3 million. It's actually $4 million now. That's Costin and Bukestad money right there. Maybe not that hard to believe given Jack Campbell. It's from Andrew out in London, Ontario. And then Ken says, Tommy and Matt, if Perry were to play with Kane and Dry, we have to call it the Katy Perry line, and the song Roar could be their goal song. That's pretty good.
That's pretty
good. I kind of
like that.
All right. Zach to come. Who are we going to hear from next?
We are going to go over to Warren Fogle.
A challenge. So what did you kind of see that allowed you to kind of pull away in period three?
I think it starts off with, Stu keeping us in that game. That honestly could have been like a 5-0 after the first two periods. He was rock solid, and, he's been playing unbelievable. And as a group coming into the third, we knew we needed to be better. And, I thought we were playing quicker, direct, and, you could see by the pace of play we were playing in the third.
Is it getting easier to correct your game now that you've had a lot of good periods over the last couple of months? Is it easier to find the right game when you're looking for it?
I just think in this group, I think the big message is just being calm. And, we've got great leaders in this room. And, I think guys are just been buying into that. And, that's one thing that's really helped us go on this streak.
When you talked about Stu right off the start, I mean, these aren't one-offs. He's been doing this for about 2 months now. What's that like to be playing in front of him right now?
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. I think it starts from in practice, how dialed he's been in, and it's translating to his great effort during games. And, we don't want to rely on him too much there. And but, it's nice to know that he's, a brick wall there in the back.
You're sensing some calm from him, a lot of nights?
Yeah, he's just been unbelievable. He's calm in the net. When we're not really panicking out there, but when we do, it's nice to know that he's calm and making a big save. And like you said, he's been unreal for the last few months.
Yes, he has been. Stuart Skinner, 11th straight victory. The Oilers have 14 in a row, and things are looking good in Oil Country. Tom Gazzola, Matt Kassian with you, Zach DeCum and Matthew Iwanek making things working back at ESTHQ. You can text us 218-9999, or get at us in the nasty chat if you are watching on YouTube. And Cass, before I get your thoughts going into Thursday, I just want to rattle off a couple of texts. This one from Justin says, fellas, I think Cass will get one before Connor Brown if he can't score from there. That's from Justin. And Big Uke says, I was boots on the ground. First two periods were very concerning, but that third was a very different team. LFG, 14 in a row. Gag streak record. Stu wins record. Holy hell, boys. We a wagon, says Big Uke. And then Rip City Step. Hey, a screen cap of our good friend Brian Swain. Swainer says most consecutive games in NHL history for a goalie with the win while allowing 2 or fewer goals. 12 by Martin Brodeur from October 23rd, 97 to November 20th, 97. 10 from George Hainsworth, Cass, February 24th, 1927 to March 22nd, 1927. Remember that year? And then now 10, Stuart Skinner, December 28th, 2023 to January 23rd, 2024. Okay, we're going to go into your thoughts for Thursday with this text from Adam. It says, if Pickard plays Thursday, doesn't he immediately have a ton of pressure on him with the streak on the line? Cass.
Well, maybe, but he would have had that pressure on him the whole time. He would have had that pressure on tonight. And for this group, from what they have said, and the reality of it is that they just want to take this game by game. And you have to trust your backup goaltender to play for you. You have to trust that when you put him in, he's going to give you a good game. So, I mean, is it too much pressure? Well, it shouldn't be. He's an NHL player. He's an NHL goaltender, and he should be able to deal with that. So is there added pressure? Well, yeah, of course. But I don't know. I'm not he shouldn't. You should be able to put him in, and regardless of the pressure, regardless of the situation, you want to see him play well. And he has done that in those instances when he has played during this streak.
Yeah. Pickard's won 3 of his last 4 starts, allowing 1, 5, 3, 2, and 2 in those last 4. Of course, the 5 goals is the one he lost. That was December 16th against Florida. He beat Detroit with a 18 save performance. He beat Anaheim with a 30 save performance, and he beat the Devils with a 26 save performance. And his first win of the season was another 26 save performance where he only allowed 1 goal. That one anomaly, I guess, in that stretch of 4 games, or pardon me, 5 games, is the loss to the Florida Panthers. So 4-2 record for Calvin Pickard. If this Oilers team is to successfully make it 15 in a row, Cass, what needs to happen? What will be the focus tomorrow if they practice? And what do you think the coaching staff is telling these guys heading into Thursday?
Yeah, well, what needs to happen is you need to not have a sloppy first 2 periods. If you just channel that third period energy and bring that from the start, you beat the Chicago Blackhawks. No Connor Bedard. They're not a deep team. You should beat the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, as far as what, from a coaching standpoint, you're telling them, you're going to be looking at some of the slop. Probably not at the big turnover from Desharnais and Gagner. That's a one-off, but you're going to be looking at it. Then actually, you're going to be looking at some of the things defensively you did, because you did some okay things. You did. You really did. But you're going to try to reel in maybe a little bit of some of the turnovers. I think you're going to be taking a look at forced plays early on in the game from a video standpoint. In practice, you're not going to change what you've been doing. Mm-hmm. So you're still going to do, some of your 5-on-5 stuff. They're still probably going to focus a little bit on that power play. Still wanting that to click a little bit better than it has been. So I would assume they're going to get some power play work in if possible. And they're probably just it's going to be business as usual. I mean, game by game. I mean, you're going to start mentally trying to prepare yourself for that next one. So it's a situation, Tom, where it's like, you're not trying to do something different all of a sudden.
Right.
So you're just, you're going to be, from a coaching staff, not talking about the record, not talking about the streak. You're going to be talking about, these are the Chicago Blackhawks. We have to be ready for them. Because you know what? Great win, fantastic third period. Way to battle through some average hockey to finish strong and to finish well. That's fantastic. Let's bring that third period energy and bring the way we finish the game into that Chicago game, because if we're not ready, we already got bailed out by goaltender once against Chicago in the last couple of weeks. We kind of got bailed out again against Columbus. So just be ready to bring it on Thursday.
All right. We'll see if they're ready to bring it on Thursday. You know who consistently brings it? You, Cass.
I was going to say Zacticum, because he's been bringing it.
Oh, he has been bringing it tonight.
He has been bringing it.
He's pumped up. Well, Awanik's right over top of him watching, so know he has to be on top of his game, right?
Hey, there's a lot of fans and a lot of coaches watching people play hockey, and you know what? If Maddie's watching Zacticum, he can deal with the pressure too, just like Pickard can when he starts on Thursday.
Yeah, he wants to guide him to 14, potentially 15 straight excellent shows in his future. So we'll see if the Oilers can do that, and Zacticum's well on his way. Cass, great stuff as always. I think that's a great sweater. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thanks, buddy. I love it, and we'll talk to you soon.
That is our game analyst, Matt Kassian, helping us break down the Oilers' 4-1 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. We will go around the National Hockey League. There was 9 games on the sched tonight, and we'll get you up to speed on that. I think a lot of Oiler fans will be happy to hear what happened in Calgary when the Blues went into the Saddle Dome to take on the Flames. I'll get to that right away. But first, Dallas 5-4 winners over Detroit in Detroit. Ottawa 4-1 in Montreal over the Habs. The Flyers get doubled up by the Lightning 6-3. The Golden Knights 3-2 win over Patrick Waugh and his New York Islanders. That sounds so weird, but it's a thing. The Minnesota Wild 5-3 winners over the Washington Capitals. St. Louis, the Blues 4-3 winners in regulation over the Calgary Flames at the Saddle Dome. And then you've got Anaheim up 3-0 on Buffalo. 6 minutes left in the third. After 2 in San Jose at the Shark Tank. No surprise, really. The Rangers lead the Sharks 2-0. All right, Zacticum, do we have any more interviews to get to?
Yes, we do. I'm bringing my game today, and somebody else who brought their game today was Kane, and we'll go listen to him in the Oilers locker room right now.
Win lately, keep it close, pull away in the third period. This formula seems to be working for you guys.
I mean, we obviously didn't, give them credit. They played really well. They worked hard and they skated really well in the first couple of periods, and good teams find a way to win. And obviously, Skins helped us out a little bit and kept it 1-1 there. And we 20 minutes to win a game in the third period, and we played a little bit better in the third.
Can you talk about what it is right now, Evander? You've outscored teams 26-6 in the third period here during this streak. Do you feel that when you're after coming out from the second period? Do you just sense the group's that confident?
Oh, I think we just all knew if we played our brand of hockey in the third, because we did in the first 2 periods. Obviously, we liked our chances, and I thought we came out and did that for the most part in the third period.
What would you say about Stewart's? I was going to say the first 2 periods, but really throughout this stretch, what he's kind of meant to this team.
Yeah, he's given us solid goaltending. In moments where we haven't had our best hockey, he stepped up and kept it manageable and kept us in the game. And like I said, we've done a good job of winning games different ways, and you have to do that if you're going to win 14 in a row.
You've played in the league, you've seen all the best goalies, and you're going up against this guy in practice all the time. How good is Skinner? How good can he be? What do you guys have here?
Yeah, I think he's a gamer. You've seen it over this stretch here. I think he's a confident guy, and he has a lot of self-belief, and you're seeing that in this last stretch of games for sure. And it's obviously helping our team win in a big way.
You say you're not, the guys are saying they're not really thinking about the streak, but once it gets to 14, is it hard not to?
Yeah, now that we're at 14, it's definitely something we're thinking about now. No, I mean, we want to finish off this homestand in a good positive way, headed into a week break, and we need to keep collecting points because there's a lot of teams that are ahead of us that are winning as well. So it's great to have the streak, but points are important right now.
You had a bet earlier in the season with McDavid and Draisaitl. If the streak gets to 20 games, they'll wear double Rolexes in practice. Is that still a standing bet?
That's not practice. That's in the warm-up,
Oh, in
like I did the last streak. So actually, Davo has to wear a grill, so he might want to go to the the dentist now, just in case we get there. So we'll see.
All right, a little bit of fun at the end of Evander Kane's presser. Someone in the nasty chat said, "Put on a damn shirt." Works on those traps. He works on those traps. Kane having himself a night against the Blue Jackets, a goal and an assist, a couple of hits as well as 3 shots, 100% on the faceoff dot, 15:35 time on ice for Evander Kane in the 4-1 Oilers victory. All right, let's go into the nasty chat a little bit here. I think it was Justin or Jason, actually. Jason says, Cass, it is a great sweater, and Cass is my favorite grandma. Womp womp. I think it was also Jason who said that Struddy knit that sweater for him. I did not know Struddy could knit. It's a thing. It is a thing. All right, this text comes in and says, if the Oilers get to 17, I'll get Evander Kane's face tattooed over my face. Ooh. Well, you do you. You do you. The Oilers at 14 straight wins. Chris Knobloch likes what he's seeing overall from his team. Maybe not so much in the first 2 periods tonight. Let's go to the head coach.
Obviously your team was, they played with a lot of pace, Columbus, and you guys had some challenges too, but Stuart Skinner was just terrific. It's got to be reassuring for a coach to see your goalie give you that sort of performance again.
Absolutely. We weren't very good in the first 2 periods, and he came up with a lot of big saves. And I think with our team, we played a couple emotional games, coming home on a road trip, playing Toronto, then Calgary, and then here playing a team that's kind of below us in the standings. We just weren't ready, and the first 2 periods definitely showed that.
You made, for one of the rare times, significant line adjustments for the 3rd period. Obviously the lack of productivity, but just the thought process and the deployment of personnel that you used in the 3rd.
Yeah, we needed to shake things up, and players responded. They played, all the guys in the 3rd period played really well. I think the McLeod line with Holloway and Brownie really started it, got our momentum going in the 3rd period. They played well. I think it was DR's line after that and led to another goal. So it just, overall, we just kept our game a lot more simple, worked a lot harder, skated a lot faster, created a little more chances.
Holloway's had another great game since returning from injury and scoring a goal out there tonight. Just thoughts on his game coming back into the lineup.
He's played 2 really good games for us. And, he's played a little bit tonight on the left wing, but primarily he's been a centerman. It's nice to know that you've got that center depth because you never know what happens. And it's nice to have that. And, he's been physical, he's been fast, he's been really reliable just on the defensive side of the puck. So it's a good addition for our team.
Do you view this as a game where you didn't play very well and you got away with one, or is it more along the lines of this is who we are? We've got a great goalie and we own the 3rd period.
We got away with one. We can't rely on that. Yes, we've got a great goalie, but we gotta check better. We gotta manage the puck. I think we're waiting for the puck to come to us, and we gotta skate. We gotta work to get it back. And they were the faster team the first 40 minutes, and it definitely looked like that. We only had 14 shots after the 2nd period. It wasn't good enough. I'm not sure. We had maybe 14 just in the 3rd period alone. So, yeah, we just got to simplify our game, play faster.
Chris, the one tendency in this winning streak has been the domination in the 3rd period. You've outscored teams 26-6. The 2nd period pretty good too. I think it's 4-6. The first has been pretty even. I think you're +1. You sense anything from your team? What have you seen maybe that's different, in the 3rd and even the 2nd period compared to your starts?
I think you could say what we're doing. You could also think about what other teams are doing. Obviously, the other team's getting really excited to play us. We're on a winning streak. They know we're playing well. They're excited to end that streak. So I would think a lot of credit should be given to the other team being ready to play us. We're getting every team's best right now. And for us to get up all the time as a coach, I want our guys to be up ready all the time, but it's human nature to take a shortcut if you can and just not be as motivated. But they always find their games right now, and that's good to find out, but we can't not be ready to play because it's going to catch up to us. Tonight we got away with one, but I think in the third period we played a really strong period, and that's how we played for the majority of this stretch.
And can you just talk about the balanced scoring you're getting? You're not relying just on 97 and 29. Like Fogle and McLeod actually lead your team in 5-on-5 points in this streak. And, tonight Kane, Holloway, Fogle all score. And it's lots of different guys at different times, Chris. I know you played. And so just the importance of that. And do you sense the offensive confidence pretty much in every one of your forwards right now?
We need contributions from everybody, and it's nice to see guys chip in. Throughout this stretch, maybe they don't have the most 5-on-5 points, but Leon and Connor have been our best players for most nights. And I think they've been very unfortunate that they don't have more goals and assists than they have. But they're not going to be able to score every single night. You need that depth. And we've got guys who are chomping at the bit to contribute. And, two of the guys that you mentioned, McLeod and Fogle, have played really well. And they've been used in different situations. Fogle pretty much through this stretch has always been on Leon's side, but you think about the versatility of McLeod moving left wing and playing center and playing with many line mates throughout this stretch. So it's nice to have the coach, or nice for a coach to have the versatility of being able to change your lineup.
There's head coach Chris Knobloch. Says his team wasn't ready. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with him there. He said his team needed a bit of a wake up, so he shuffled up the lines. And to their credit, they responded with a strong third period, 3-goal burst to get the 4-1 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. I saw this text in the nasty chat from JCD. Says, I love that he's being level-headed on this. And at least, absolutely. I mean, he just hit it on the head. He said his team, even though it's been playing well, at times can find it easy to get into bad habits and not play the way that they need to. And teams are gunning for the Oilers, throwing fastballs at them, trying to knock off the Oilers on this streak. So kudos to Chris Knobloch being straightforward about this, honest, and not turning it into an overly dramatic thing, just saying that, hey, they responded, but they needed it. Yes, it wasn't particularly good, and they did not bring their A game, certainly against a Columbus Blue Jackets team that was, 2 points up on Ottawa going into action tonight in the Eastern Conference. So, yeah, it has been a rough season for the Sens. Sens and Columbus Blue Jackets. The Jackets just one win in their last 6 games. All right, you can slip in a text 780-218-9999, or you can get at us in the nasty chat. Norman of Combine saying, hi, Tom. Hey, Norm. Good to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in, pal. Always appreciate it. We are going to get to the Damon Bunting player of the game. Damon Bunting, Remax Elite, is a consistent top producer, realtor, or Damon is, among his team as well. And he and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move to your current home or from your current home. Community driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. So the Damon Bunting Remax Elite player of the game, Zach DeCum, is who?
It's got to be Stuart Skinner in net, getting that franchise record, extending it the 14 games for the Oilers there, and he played amazing the entire time. He stopped a lot of shots and made some great saves, and even Jack Michaels calling the game thought one of the goals went in, specifically on the Gaudreau breakaway, but Skinner stopped it, and his play was just phenomenal in net for the Oilers, and he gets Damon Bunting player of the game tonight.
Oh, look at that. Zach DeCum making an appearance. Where's Iwanek in all of this? Is he very close by?
He's right beside me here. He's currently scrolling through Twitter.
Hello, Iwanek. Iwanek, are you satisfied with Zach DeCum's performance tonight?
He's asking, do you like the performance tonight?
Yeah, could have been a better first.
He's talking about me. No.
Oh,
yeah, he can't really hear me.
I can't hear
I got my
anything.
headphones on, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Typical
maybe,
Wanick.
yeah. Yeah,
Thumbs
good.
up. You got a
Thumbs up.
Good job, Zach.
Thank you, thank you.
Drop a thumbs up in our YouTube channel if you think Zach Tecum did a good job tonight. I think he's coming along nicely. Well done, Zach Tecum, on the player of the game, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting, Remax Elite. All right, let's get your breakdown of the game too. I know I kind of cut you off last time you did this, but what did you think of the Oilers overall, pal?
You know, I thought it was a bit sloppy for most of the game. They had a couple bright spots that they're playing great for the most part. But that third period, we really put on the heat, and they only gave up 5 shots from the CBJ in that final frame. And on the penalty kill, they only let 1 shot on goal. And Awanek here, he's been busting me for that the entire game. I've written it down like Bart Simpson on the chalkboard. I don't want to say that. It's they, okay? The Oilers played great. So, you got to learn the hard way.
Oh, that's okay, pal. We all do it. Good job, Zach. Good job, Zach Tecum. Oh, yes. A young broadcaster in the making, or just busting his chops. But yes, the Oilers did a good job. And the collective we in oil country, Zach Tecum, is quite happy with the performance from their team. Absolutely, as they should be. All right, let's see if there's any final text to get to. Freezer Bag, I think, is just trying to needle me. Freezer Bag. Oh, boy. Freezer Bag getting after it. This one says, Zach Tecum is Tyler Myers. Do you like that comparison, Zach Tecum?
I've never once been called Tyler Myers.
You are pretty tall.
Yeah, but I kind of get it with like the slick back hair. I don't know. I've never once have heard that or have seen that before, but I can't disagree really. That's the bad part about it. I don't like it. I don't hate it. It's a good comparison, I think.
All right, you'll take it. Zach Tecum, you're getting a lot of positive reinforcement, and rightly so. Casino Dealer Jay says Zach Tecum's still a homer. Yes, he's learning. He's learning, Casino Dealer Jay, as VR Montenegro puts it. X-Ray J says, thanks, Tommy Cass, Zach Tecum, and all you nasties. See ya in the AM. Good night, X-Ray J. Cameron says, Zach the man. K. Gill says, Zach Tecum is doing a great job. Zedmo loves your hoodie, says, great hoodie. And Fish Tank says, Zach Tecum killing it. And Cameron, thank you. Love button for Zach. Pound the hearts and the like button. And so, yes, Jason adds, Zach Tecum, we tease because we love. So you're in a good space. You're in a good space with all the nasties. Someone with a Jay Woodcroft fake account says, I should have fired Schwartz when I had the chance. Yes. Yes. Dell with a incorrect comment says, oh no, Gazzy must be stereotypically short. No, Zach Tecum's tall. What are you, like 6'5", 6'4"?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I've never really measured it. I'm maybe, I don't know, 6'2", 6'3", in that range somewhere. So I'm pretty tall.
I think you're selling yourself short there. All right. Well, you're like Cass's size. Cass is a big dude.
Oh yeah, he's pretty tall. And what? How tall is he? How tall does he say he is?
I don't know, 6'3", 6'4". I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever. Forget it. Let's go to Dirty Curdy to wrap things up here. Dirty Curdy says, that was the Poop Flies Stanley Cup. Skinner and the PK deserve a statue in front of Rogers after the beer league effort in the first two. Were they planning out Jack's B-Day party? Kane, while around it offensively, needs to get those turnovers out of his game. Hope the break heals him up. McLeod was solid and won some important puck battles. Great to see Hollywood score an upgrade to the D, and a center with the injection of Perry is tantalizing. Dirty Curdy, you get the final word of the night. All right, that's going to do it. as the Oilers win a 14th consecutive game, defeating the Columbus Blue Jackets by a score of 4-1. A huge thank you to everyone who tuned in, texted in, got in the nasty chat, and gave Zach DeCum some positive reinforcement. We're back on Thursday as the Oilers look to stretch this winning streak to 15 straight when they take on the Chicago Blackhawks. For Zach DeCum, Matt Iwanek, Matt Kassian, I'm Tom Gazzola saying good night, everyone. Talk to you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.